time has come to take the demons head on. The Grey Garrison, a nondescript 3-story structure made of grey limestone, devoid of decoration, built to last. It didn't collapse even when the demon lord Tiscari flung the Waterstone of Kinablis against its wall. Now, the invaders have turned it into their main base of operations. Demons and cultists carry out their unholy rituals here and make plans for how to crush the resistance of the city's defenders. Retaking the Grey Garrison is a very dangerous and important task. Seek Erebeth and the defenders' heart to discuss all the necessary preparation. Oh, I thought we were ready. Okay. Well then, let's talk to Erebeth first.
Our path leads on.
Wait, but there's nothing to do. There's no talking point. How do I? Journal. Burning City. I talked to the storyteller. Okay. Okay, so now that we defended the tavern, we can talk to the storyteller. Okay. He stood up. He's not sitting anymore. He's communicating his willingness to talk now. The blind elf looks better than he did in your last encounter. His clothes are clean and his pale face has some color. The elf turns to you and listens closely. Is that you, my savior? I recognized your footsteps. Determined footsteps, befitting a determined person. Allow me to thank you again for saving me. Please accept this humble gift as a token of my appreciation. The elf hands you a small black ring with 2 scarlet runes on it. Storyteller's ring. Erebeth has explained why you were looking for me. I warned the authorities of Kinablis that the local Waterstone has been desecrated. They waved off my warning and paid for their inaction. I have explained many Waterstone. Why is this not voiced? I mean, this is a main quest, right? This should be voiced. I have examined many Waterstones, but only in the one guarding Kinablis did I sense a flaw, a spot of corruption inside. Vulnerability the demons will surely use. They are able to spread the blight inside a Waterstone, corrupt it, and make it their weapon. It frightens me to think what it will be capable of. The Waterstone must be destroyed. Who are you, and why did they let you examine the Waterstone? The elf smells faintly. I am the storyteller, just an old elf, and a bit more. I am old even for an elf. I've seen many things, and I've been to many places. Not so long ago, I witnessed the making of a young kingdom in the stolen lands, led by a remarkable and promising individual. My advice on the complicated matter of conquering those lands proved useful to that leader. Oh, isn't the first Pathfinder game called Kingmaker? I'm pretty sure this is a reference about the first game. We haven't played that one yet. Stolen lands are an almost wholly unsettled region in the northeastern section of the River Kingdoms, bordering the nation of Brevoy and serving as a buffer between Brevoy and the River Kingdoms, traditionally the haunt of bandits and monstrous humanoids. The stolen lands are regarded as stolen by all nations along their border, even though none have ever been able to keep these realms under their control for long. And this is not uncommon for me. Some seek my advice or service, and I don't refuse. This is how I acquired my reputation as an old vagrant who's never hurt anyone. stayed out of other squabbles, but sometimes gave good advice. I had a few friends in Neurosian who vouched for my integrity. This is why my humble request to be allowed to see the Waterstone was granted. I visited all of them, but only found cause for alarm in Kenablis. Do you wield some special magic power, some instinct? The storyteller chuckles. Yes, to a certain extent, but it is more of a gift. I can see the past, stories that happened. I touch an object and shreds of its owner's memories are revealed to my mind. Their emotions, passions and tragedies. I see visions like I am them, and their stories happen to me. This is my power. I've been roaming the world gathering such stories for many thousands of years. One day, I will gather them all. What blight is concealed in the Waterstone? I'm afraid I don't have the answer to your question. To understand the nature of this blight, we need to understand how the Waterstone was created. And it is hidden from me. I can only guess. Have you heard of the Red Morning Massacre? Yes. A dreadful morning remembered with fear, even by those not yet born at the time. A demoness called Minago invaded the city with a crowd of her followers and started to do what demons do best, kill and desecrate. They said they covered the Waterstone with pieces of dead bodies, splashed it with blood from top to bottom. Could such an abomination darken the radiance of the gift of Iomide herself? The locals think this is impossible, but who knows? It was not the last attack. Many demon leaders brought their unholy forces here, even the terrifying Baelor Koramtsadeh. Their attacks were rebuffed, but they still reached their target. I think this is when the seed of corruption was planted in the stone. It wouldn't have grown on its own, but Descari himself has now come to take advantage of this weakness to open the abscess that has been festering for years, unnoticed by the people of Kenablis. And when the demon lord struck the blow, the weakened stone gave in. Now it's in demon hands and nothing is stopping them from spreading the blight throughout the entire stone, and from it to the other stones along the whole perimeter of the world wound. Why did you travel to the Waterstone? I tried to see their stories. The visions I had when I touched the Waterstones were unclear. I saw hundreds, maybe thousands of different stories at the same time. They followed each other like flashes of lightning. It was impossible to separate them. I couldn't understand where one of them ended and the next began. I have heard you, storyteller. In that case, you must make every possible effort to destroy the corruption. Unfortunately, I don't know where to get an instrument powerful enough to banish it from the Waterstone. As far as I know, there is nothing like it in Kenablis, but the demons might have something. I heard the dying roar of Terendelev, the silver dragon, the protector of the city. At the same time, I felt a wave of unfamiliar power sweep over me from head to toe. I would advise you to go to where Terendelev perished and search there for something. I'm sorry I can't be more specific, but intuition and a strange sense of rightness tell me to point you there. Present the purple stone knife. I found it in the square where Terendelev perished. What do you make of it? The storyteller reaches out and says softly, "Even from here, I can feel strange energies emanating from this object. If you don't mind, I will examine it, using my method. I will try to see the past of its owner, their emotions and shreds of their memories. Maybe it'll help us better understand what we are dealing with." The storyteller touches the knife, his fingers clamping around the hilt with a hungry, masterful grip. His face contorts into an evil grimace. His voice disgustingly raspy. "Hunger. My many legs bring me into the lair to my mother's feasting hall. Her all-swollen body overfilled with food is so huge that I have to look at it with all of my eyes at once. On top is her scrawny little head with a long beak that is always yearning for more food." You feel feverish. In your chest, where the mysterious wound is concealed, feels hot. Your mind is flooded with a wave of visions. Visions that repeat the words of the old elf. Mother greets me with a placid screech. Stupid, greedy wretch, whose only achievement is my birth. A creepy, wingless creature. It's your fault I have no wings, a symbol of greatness, a birthright I should have received from my mighty father. Mother points me to a crowd of whimpering subjects, suggesting I fortify myself with their pathetic flesh. Not today. I summon my spawn and they fly to me, enveloping me in a teeming cloud. Like dark, buzzing wings, they unfold behind my back and lift me up. Mother has always been stronger, but she did not expect this. I dive on her and rip her limb. Bloated body with my claws, ichors, splatters. The bone spurs on my heels sink into her flesh. I clench her pitiful tiny head and tear it off along with the shreds of meat. Victory, I am the strongest, I am the son of my winged father. The elf grimaces with distaste. His voice becomes normal again. Appalling. Stories like that are the most difficult ones to keep with me. Did this knife belong to a demon? Ah. Storyteller opens his mouth to answer, but a sudden spasm crosses his face. A new vision, a much stronger one, engulfs the old elf. The malevolent undertones vanish from his voice as it grows more determined and tired. Even looking at the Waterstone is difficult. Despite the corruption nesting in it, it still has an aura of strength. Your fingers clench the stone hilt so tight it hurts. A little spot on the flawless surface of the Waterstone draws your attention. It looks like a butterfly. Corruption in the guise of something utterly harmless. But it will grow. You swing and stab the butterfly with a knife as hard as you can. Your fingers cramp painfully. A howl invades your ears. Light, white light everywhere. The stone knife falls from the old elf's hand. Out of breath, he drops to his knees. He's trembling. The terror on his face so unlike his usual dignified manner. What was that? That was not the past. There was something that is yet to happen, or rather might happen. One of the roads to the future. In one of the possible futures, this item will help you to cleanse the Waterstone or to destroy it. You feel a longing to take the stone chisel and plunge it into your chest, right into the wound that has opened up in it. It is hard to resist this feeling, but at the last moment your self-preservation instinct takes over and you manage to keep control of your own hands. The old man stands up. He looks completely stunned. Never before has anything like this happened to me, but how? I'm not an oracle or prophet, or is this another riddle from the past that has caught up with me? I must find out. Seeing stories that have happened is one thing, but seeing stories that are yet to happen. I don't know why this is happening now, but there's one thing I'm sure of. This is not a coincidence. This is a sign of coming change. Just great changes. I shared your vision and this knife tempted me. Did you see what I saw? This has never happened before. Could it be the magic of the object that you brought me? I sense dark energies in it that can cloud and charm the mind. Be careful with this item. It may have tried to influence you, but you managed to overcome its power and subdue it. Or perhaps something else happened to us. Something we don't yet understand. Can you see the future? I don't know. Obviously I can, but nothing like this had ever happened to me before. The future never opened its secrets to me before I met you. Gods, who are you and why have our path crossed? I feel this is not a coincidence. Something momentous is happening. Destiny is pushing us towards something, but what? Questions without answers. I swear, this morning I couldn't have imagined what awaited me. Maybe it's the knife. that gives you the power of divination. This knife is a powerful artifact, but I feel that its power is of a different nature. No. I felt the same as I do when I tell the past. This is my gift, but manifested in a completely abnormal way. Is what you saw destined to happen? No. The future is not set. It used to be, a long time ago when the god Arodin guarded Golarion, but not now. Prophecies do not come true, or they do, but not the way they were supposed to. I only saw one version of the future, one of the path leading to it, but the choice has not been made and our destinies are not set in stone. Who were you in your vision? I don't know. Someone strong and desperate enough to resort to extreme measures. I felt that what I was doing had to be done. Your powers are amazing. A few minutes ago, I would have agreed with you. But the thing that has just happened, it disturbs me. My gift has never manifested like this. Something has changed. And these changes frighten me. Please, examine the items I'm carrying. Perhaps some of the items could tell us a story. Let me touch them and I'll tell you what I can see. The storyteller's hand runs carefully over the scale that has still not lost its shine. Proud Terendelev, protector of Kenablis, you devoted your life to serving people. Your death is a great loss, but maybe I will be able to find out something about you that is unknown to your many admirers. The storyteller fiddles with a fragment of a gold buckle. An old thing created long ago by divine will, but the power that gave birth to it is lost in the darkness. However, the relic still lives on, though it has changed. I wonder what secret it is hiding. Would you like to know it? Bring me 5 vials of magic essence and I will revive this object, and with it its story. Show Terendelev's scale to the storyteller. Tell me about Terendelev. I'm flying. I can finally spread my wings. I'm gliding over a broad river. The sunset has turned its surface smooth like a mirror, and I see my reflection. It is as if another silver dragon is rising to meet me from the depth, but what is it? The scales on my chest are black, and the darkness is spreading over my body. I wake up. A clear sky sways above me, blazing with heat. I am in human form. The red dust. The wound clings to my cracked lips. Someone is carrying me on a stretcher made of shields and spears. I am so weak I can barely lift my hand to my face. The sight of my own hand terrifies me. It is black, and the skin glistens like scales melted by fire. I probably ought to cry, but I only feel hatred and nausea. All these people around me. Out of sympathy for them, did I choose to leave the mountains. I gave up my flights over rivers. I went to the demon's lair. They don't have a scratch on them, but I am infected with foulness. It's not fair. My life is more precious than their pathetic existence. Oh, how I hate them in this moment. And then I suddenly feel shame. No one. These are not my thoughts. No. The crusaders carrying me are my good friends. I'm glad they did not suffer, but I hate them and myself so much. Pain and hatred pierce me all at once. It's all because of them. All because of them. Someone walking beside me touches me, talks to me. But the only thing I hear is your mentor. He will come. He will help. And I lose consciousness. The storyteller takes a deep breath, exiting the vision. Why do you ask that question, Mograine? We already read about this. She was tempted by darkness, but she prevailed. I mean, he has a memory of maybe 10 minutes into the past. Such hatred from Terendelev. Wasn't she on our side? Terendelev has come a long way. Her unit was ambushed by demons once, and she was infected with foulness. The Terendelev you met in Kenablis had gone through many trials and regained her former purity. What happened next? The storyteller puts his hand to his forehead. Sometimes the past can be as vague as the future. We all know how Turandalev's story ended, but the beginning is hidden from us. Maybe if you find something else that used to belong to her, we will know more about her struggle. However, no matter what we learn, remember, the soul of a true dragon, overcame every obstacle, endured every torment. She was able to purify herself. For dragons are truly powerful, not only in body, but in spirit too. Present the stone knife. Tell me about its previous owner. The storyteller touches the knife, his fingers clamping around the hilt with a hungry, masterful grasp. That was hunger, okay. Screech. Future. Looking at the Waterstone, yes. Okay. Can I help you? Appreciate your offer, I'd like to examine it. Manuscript authored by an elf from Keonin who witnessed Earthfall. Earthfall is the name given to the cataclysmic event in which a shower of meteorites impacted Golarion in 4293. Resulted in the destruction of the human empires of Tassilon and Asland, which were consumed by earthquakes and massive tidal waves. The creation of the inner sea. The cloud of dust thrown up by Earthfall's impact settled in Golarion's upper atmosphere and bloated out the sun for 1,000 years, creating the Age of Darkness. What? That's bad. Blackwing Library only found a mention. The manuscript exists and is held somewhere in the city. We're going to find it. I want to know more about you. I'm not surprised. A strange, peculiar-looking elf with unusual power who comes from afar and calls himself a collector of stories. Such things usually spark some interest. I will answer your questions. Who are you, and where are you from? Before, I would have said that I was a blacksmith from Keonin who lost his sight and then found his true calling in a new craft. Bit of a story collector, but I have lately begun to suspect that those words are no more than a lie. It's quite the irony. I never thought I'd have a cause to complain about my memory. I told the stories of the entire world, but I've noticed more and more alarming signs recently. I encounter ancient stories and see myself in them. I don't remember those events, but stories cannot lie, so it means that my memory is lying, and I intend to get to the bottom of it. I'm looking for proof that my visions are true, and for the reason why my past has been hidden from me. You look ancient. I thought elves didn't get old. The blind man straightens his bony back with dignity. As you can see, we do, if we manage to live for many thousands of years. There may not be a single mortal in this world older than me. Storyteller sighs and continues with a sad smile. Anyway, it's not about time. It's about the stories I keep inside. There is so much suffering and sadness in this world, and in my stories too. I've lived every one of them. I've drunk this bitter experience and accepted it in my heart. It's hard. The weight of all this suffering on my shoulders, but I wouldn't trade my burden for any other. Where did you get your strange powers? I've always got along well with things. I used to be a blacksmith, that I know for sure. I've always felt the essence of things, their spirit. For as long as I can remember, I've always been able to feel the traces of memories and feelings left on things by their former owners. I don't know where this gift comes from. Maybe having taken my sight, the god has granted me another sense. How do you see into the future? I cannot say. Such visions are new to me. My instinct has always worked toward the past, not the future, but some things change. Everything changes. So do I. Perhaps right now, the stories that are yet to happen are more important than the ones that have happened already. Why did you come to the world, Wound? Searching for the truth about my real past has brought me here. I saw myself in others' stories. In them I was called the Elf in the Tower. Now I'm looking for this tower, my tower, everywhere. I've been to many places. I've visited islands and deserts, but I haven't found it. There are very few uncharted territories on my map. The World Wound is one of them. How do you collect stories? The same way a court philanderer collects his conquests. The way a healer has a personal cemetery of patients he failed to save. where every person, including you, has a box of secrets, most precious experiences deep down in their soul that no one is allowed to touch. The world is not made of things, or matter even. It's made of stories. They move from the past to the future, piercing our world at the point of here and now. They give meaning to everything. They are the meaning, and everything else is only the setting required for stories to exist. There's nothing more real and alive than a story. And anything real and alive can die or be destroyed, distorted, forgotten. But as long as I carry these stories with me, they will not be lost. This is why I don't often share my stories. By sharing one with you, I give you the right to tell it to others, to distort and embellish it, to advertently or inadvertently. How can I be sure you will keep its original purity? Stories travel from one person to another, they change, become distorted, turn into tall tales. This is why I keep my stories to myself. I have a few questions about our encounter in the Blackwing Library. Of course, I make no secret of why I came to the library. I was looking for something. What were you doing there? I was looking for a very odd thing. Rumor has it, some ancient scroll or a book page about the times of Earthfall is held in Kenablis. According to the legend, it describes the last days of the proud kingdom of Kionin, later abandoned by the elves fleeing Golarion. I have a vague hope that the events described in it will shed some light on my past. Did you find what you were looking for? Obviously not. Stupid question. Storyteller shakes his head gloomily. Alas, no, but I found proof that the book I'm looking for is in Kenablis, or at least a part of it is. I see. I have to go. Oh, so much reading. Let's see, can we now talk to Irabeth and end all of this? Ah, okay. So the attack on the Grey Garrison is coming, so that will be the part in the next episode that will be fun.